Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, tonight we are going to focus on the Oregon gun rights activists are fighting back. The court system has officially begun the fight around Measure 114. We're going to dive into everything. This has sheriffs, this has gun right advocates. This is going to get interesting, exactly like we talked about. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, NorthTac, and then we're going to dive in. NorthTac Optics are leading the way in the value optics market in the U.S. With many of today's most popular features built right into NorthTac Optics, users have access to modern RDS technology at an affordable price. All NorthTac series optics come packed with features like the MAAS motion activation and auto shutoff electronic programming. By simply enabling or disabling these modes, users can customize each optic to their specific needs related to home defense, seasonal hunting, or tactical practice. Plus, they have a lifelong 100% warranty. Everything's linked in the description box below, and check them out. And thank you so much to NorthTac for making the videos this weekend possible. All right, my brothers and sisters, as I mentioned in the introduction, we are diving back out to Oregon because they stepped in it when they passed this ballot measure 114, essentially installing the most insane, strict gun control measures in the United States at the Oregon level. Well, we talked about it when it was introduced. We talked about it when it was going up and being campaigned for. We talked about it when it passed the ballot initiative. It's going to get stuck in the courts because it is dramatically unconstitutional. Well, that process has now begun, and we have ourselves another gun rights versus gun control fight to follow. Again, this is from Oregon. Everything is linked in the description box below, but let's dive into this because every single day Americans are picking this up. This is important. Sheriff and a group sued to block strict Oregon gun control law. Now, this is breaking about an hour and a half to 2 hours ago of the filming of this video. This is on Sunday. Let me show you what's happening. Portland, Oregon. This is from the AP. An Oregon gun rights group and a county sheriff have filed a federal lawsuit challenging a voter-approved ballot measure that is one of the strictest gun control laws in the nation. Now, imagine, this is on the heels of a lot of other sheriffs saying they were not going to enforce it. They are having trouble with this a lot more than they anticipated, at least in my opinion, already. It's not even enacted yet. It's going to get through the court system, and my bet is there's going to be an injunction on this as further deliberation is required. But let me show you what's going on here because this case has everything you can imagine. It has the gun rights backing of the Heller decision along with the Bruen decision. It has a little bit of common use from the Heller decision. It has magazine bans from Washington State. It has everything tied up in this, and this is a big one because if this continues, the stuff that they're going after here with the magazine bans particularly, Washington State is right next door, and now you have a precedent possibility. This is important because both measures are, quite honestly ridiculous. But let's keep going. The Oregon Firearms Federation and Sherman County Sheriff Brad Lowry filed the lawsuit Friday in U.S. District Court, contending the measure scheduled to take effect December 8th is unconstitutional because it violates the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. It's pretty solid. It's pretty straightforward and easy. If you read it, you'd understand that. The lawsuit seeks to prevent the measure from taking effect, which is exactly what we talked about on this channel multiple times. You're infringing on the right to keep and bear arms because you are taking things away in one case. You're also putting a license and a requirement in order to even buy a gun in front of someone else. This is a tremendous breach of the Second Amendment in the Constitution, and they're going to run into the court system exactly like we've been talking about. But the point of this video is it's starting. Oregon voters earlier this month approved the measure that requires residents to obtain a permit to purchase a gun, dramatically unconstitutional. Bans large capacity magazines over 10 rounds, except in some circumstances, and creates a statewide firearms database. This whole thing is a mess, and it's going officially through the court system. This is important, and here comes the common use coming back from the Heller decision. Check this out. In District of Columbia v. Heller, 2008, the U.S. Supreme Court held that the Second Amendment protects the arms in common use at the time. That would be things like ARs. That would be things like magazines, standard capacity. All these things that are owned by millions upon millions of Americans, they have no standing here. They can't restrict it because it's common use. Heller decision. They have no history, text, and precedent. Bruen decision. We can do this all day. They still don't have standing, but let's continue. Like self-defense and arms that are typically possessed by law-abiding citizens for lawful purposes, such arms are chosen by American society, not the government. Chosen by the wallets. But check this out. Here comes the common use piece again. Quote, millions of law-abiding Americans own firearms equipped with magazines capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition. The lawsuit states, there is nothing unusual or novel about this technology. The ban on large-capacity magazines would not apply to current owners, law enforcement, or the military. They're going after the previous statements I mentioned from Heller. Everyone has this. Millions of law-abiding Americans own this. That's the whole point. If millions of people own this, you can't restrict it because it's considered common use. This is very straightforward, slam dunk, open and shut case. But they're going anyway because this is how they do. Got the last thing for you. Side note, if you have the freedom on the Second Amendment side, on the gun rights side, saying that it's a bad thing, and then you have the Socialist Rifle Clubs of America saying something, you did it wrong. Check this out. Opponents, including the left-wing Socialist Rifle Association, say it would infringe on the constitutionally protected rights and could reduce gun access among marginalized communities and people of color if law enforcement agencies are the arbiters of the permitting process, which they are in this case. They also say permitting fees and the cost of the firearms course could also be barriers to access. So this is the interesting part about this. One of the things that we say on this channel consistently is the fact that the gun control is cost prohibitive to the point of Second Amendment rights being withdrawn or prevented or held away from people who cannot afford the exorbitant fees that the leftists and the gun controllers put on their rights. When you have the Socialist Rifle Club of America saying it, and you have gun rights organizations and constitutional sheriffs saying it, you did it wrong, Oregon. You just flat out did it wrong, and we are going to have to go through the court system to prove you did. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.